And I think the trend that I want to go away, people not respecting our industry.
Welcome to Behind the Beauty. I'm Tippi Shorter-Rank, and I'm bringing you Pro Convos, where I get to share the amazing journeys of the industry's top stylists, mentors, and acclaimed educators. My guest today is a NAHA winner, esteemed educator, Mizani artist, a Redken and salon-centric ambassador, and textured hair elevated editorial stylist of the year. Let's welcome Jamal Edmonds.
Hi. I'm excited to be here with you, Tippi.
Thank you. So we see each other all the time.
Yes, we
do. And I love you like a brother.
I love you too.
Like a brother? Like a
Not like a brother. Not like a brother, like a big sis.
But I'm really excited to see you. I'm always excited to see you.
Yes. Same.
And you are an incredible stylist. I can't wait to share your story with our viewers. Well, I know where you're from, but let our viewers know where you were from.
Okay, so I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C. My salon is in Washington, D.C., and I live in Maryland. So we call it the DMV. So the D is for D.C., the M is for Maryland, and the V is for Virginia. So born and raised in Washington, D.C.
Awesome. Please tell me you like crabs.
I do.
Okay.
I love crabs. I just had some like last week.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Can I just, let me just tell you that my biggest pet peeve is to meet people who are from the area that you live in who are allergic.
Yes.
Or don't like shellfish because
It's crazy.
I live for it. My husband's allergic, so I can't eat it all the time.
My dad is allergic.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Ah, boo dad. And
I know.
Right? I want to know well, first of all, how long have you been a hairstylist?
So I've been a hairstylist. I just did the math the other day.
Okay.
Because, it's like you've been doing it so long, you sometimes forget. So it's been 29 years for me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Are you
29 years, yeah.
I think it's been 29 years for me as well, but I round up to just say 30 because it's a nice round number.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna round you up too.
Okay, I think that's good.
Yeah, so Jamal has been a hairstylist for 30 years. So what inspired you to get into beauty?
It's interesting. I always tell people, it's like when you think about your why, the why that I got into it doesn't change, but it's like why you stay in it kind of changes. And so my why was, I didn't necessarily know that I was good at it. Like I have younger sisters and I often was left home with them while my parents were out partying. And I just got into learning how to braid and just really trying to take care of their hair. That's it. As I grew older, I started kind of experimenting with different things. And before you knew it, I was able to actually like do a braided style and do extensions and all of those things. And
so your sisters were like the dopest girls in school?
Yeah,
okay.
They were. And it's funny because my sisters are typically like, they were how I built my client base. Like when we were growing up, because I did their hair, so all of their girlfriends started coming to me. And so that was kind of, they were like the girls that went to school that had the brother that did hair. So I ended up doing like all of their classmates' hair, which is crazy because to this day, like I still do some of their close friends' hair. Actually, that I grew up with now.
Oh, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, started off at home taking care of your younger sisters. At what point did you think, like, actually, this could be a job or a career?
So I remember when I was in high school and I wanted to get a job, but I didn't really know like what I wanted to do. And I really wanted to, like, I did like the summer job stuff. When you have summer jobs, and especially in DC, they would just like put you at a government building or at a campsite or whatever. And I did that a few times, but as I had gotten older, I was like, I really want to do something that I actually like doing. And so, I applied for a job as an assistant. And like 2 weeks after my first job as an assistant, I ended up getting my own booth.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Were you licensed at this point? No, okay.
I wasn't licensed. And it's a whole story to this, which is going to be hilarious. But I wasn't licensed. I ended up staying there, for a year or so. I worked for an Asian lady. And when I tell people this, everybody's like, what? Like I used to do like perm rods, that's what I did.
Yeah.
She was really, really good with it. And I was the only one that really wanted to learn it.
Yeah.
And so I learned it. And I'm like one of those people, you know, when people don't want to learn it, it's like, I want to know why.
Yeah.
And so I became really good at it and I started taking clients, you know.
So texture since right out of high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And when I think about it, you know, I always tell people, especially like when I'm talking about relaxers, like my relaxer story is always like, I did my sister's first relaxers when they were, you know, 12, 13 years old. But when I think about like removing texture, right, but also adding texture, so doing the perms and then being able to do the roller sets and braids and all of that stuff. So yes, texture out the gate.
Yeah, out the gate. I love it. Texture out the gate. For me, definitely my preferred fabric of hair to work with. Not sure if it's your preferred fabric to work with.
It is.
And so with that, what inspired you to become an educator?
I was looking for community. I was looking for inspiration. I was in the industry. I owned a salon, but you know, as a salon owner, it's like you give. But it's like, where do you get your inspiration from? Who fills your cup type of thing. I hadn't quite like built my community of friends in the industry. And so I felt stuck, you know, as a salon owner. And so I was like, you know, I needed to be a part of a community. I needed to be a part of, you know, a group of people that were like-minded, that, you know, I could learn and grow from, that I could stay inspired with or connected to. And that was why initially I decided to join a brand. And I remember the year that I said to myself, I think it's the year for me to step out and to try to connect with the brand. And in my mind, I was like, well, what brand would it be? You know, and it was, when I looked around the salon, it was Mazzani, of course, because I was doing the relaxers. I remember they had this product. I don't know if you remember this old school. It's called Comforter.
No.
So it was like a heavy oil, right? But you know, back then we liked some heavy oil. Yeah. And it was one of the most like the most popular salon, like retail and all of the stylists, you know, especially in the Black community, they just love this product. And so I started using it, and then that kind of made me, well, I always use that and a relaxer, but then I kind of felt like, okay, I love these two. Yeah. So let me like figure out a few more of the products. And so, you know, like I said, when I looked around my salon space, it was Mazzani. It was flashing at you. Yeah.
I always tell people, because I get inquiries all the time about like, how do you join a brand, or, you know, how do you choose a brand? I'm like, what do you love? Because when you are in partnership with the brand, you truly need to be authentic with what you're doing. And it's easy to talk about products that you love, right?
That's the biggest part about, you know, being a part of Mazzani. It's, I get to like literally just be who I am in the salon, just on a stage or in a classroom, you know, because it's like, I'm literally taking them through just a day with me. So I'm actually being my authentic self, you know, because this is what I use and this is what I do. But I think being authentic to, you know, the product and what you do, it just makes the job so much more easy. Yeah. And it feels like you're not even at work. Really.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And so was that the introduction and why you chose to also partner with Redken?
Well, you know what? Redken came through an introduction. They did a partnership, and I was one of the faces of the partnership. But also, I want to go back, like being a salon owner, you know, a Black salon owner, obviously, I didn't have all of the tools. You know, I feel like a lot of times we don't have all of the resources, right? Yeah. And so I was using this color, and I remember Kate, you know, Kate O'Shell's our
Mama Bear.
Yes, our Mama Bear. And I remember she came to visit my salon, and Kate's a colorist, you know, before she came to Mazzani. She's a colorist. So she's looking at my color bar like, what is this? Like, what are you using, right? And I'm like, I use a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know, mix it with this. And she's like, no. You know, so initially, she was someone who gave me some information on just how a brand could support you, how you could get back bar from the brand, you know, tying it into salon-centric, all of those things. And so I learned that. But again, I didn't know this going into opening a salon space, right? I learned it on the way. And so she was like, you need to do some research on a brand that, you know, could help you.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the research, and Redken was who I will tell you, it was Redken and Matrix.
Okay.
So back then I was kind of trying to figure out what was best.
Which one, right.
And started using Redken a lot more. And then the partnership came along. So again, it was
partnership
almost
between
like,
Mazzani and Redken.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the partnership between Mazzani and Redken.
So once again, flashing right at you.
Exactly, right?
You have all these amazing signs pointing at you. That's amazing.
You know, I believe in that.
Yeah.
I really do believe in what's going to happen is supposed to happen. Yeah. And God prepares you for those things.
Yeah. And being available for it. Being open and available for it.
And so when that came around, it was like, oh, well, this is what I do anyway.
Yeah.
So now I get to talk about, you know, my favorite color brand and my favorite product company. Yeah, right. Awesome. So just work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk about your salon. Yes. So Mama Bear Kate, who actually is the director of education for Mazzani, just so we have her clear title. I think that's her title.
Yes.
I think it's her title.
Yeah.
She came to your salon, helped you get it together for color, but apparently also introduced a whole new other situation for your salon. So you have the first and only flagship salon of Mazzani.
Yeah. So the visit that she came to look was when she was coming to kind of scope some things out.
Okay.
And I didn't really know how big it was going to be, you know, and initially they made my salon space the first Mazzani flagship store.
Wow.
Again, another huge blessing. Like sometimes, you know, when I tell the story, it's like, you know, I have to relive it because I don't know that I always take the time to really celebrate those moments, right? Because, you know, sometimes we're just always on the go. Yeah. Trying to figure out what's next, trying to figure out where we're going. And they came in and they redid the entire salon.
Wow.
So, I mean, I remember the process, and I didn't have any clue that it was going to be what it is. So they literally built the entire salon space over. Wow. I mean, new floors, new walls, new stations, new shampoo area.
That's incredible. So I wanted to talk about, because I know you do a great deal of celebrity work.
Yes.
One of the things I love to ask people who don't live in New York or LA, because those being the two you know, markets that you think, how did you get into working with celebrities being in the DC area?
You know, it's so interesting. And I think that going into this, I was really, really like adamant about building a celebrity client base. But to your point, it is difficult, you know, and so I had a connect from BET that lived in DC. She would connect me with like we called them BET upfronts or something like that. So I used to do a lot of those
for the TV
back
shows.
in the day.
Yeah. So the TV the upfronts are basically when new shows come out, all the actors get together and they basically meet advertisers.
Yeah. So I used to do a lot of the upfronts, and I stayed connected with them. So I would do upfronts, and then I would do like you know, conferences and those type of things. And I always stayed connected. And so they became like this hub, I would say, where when celebrities would come to town, they would send them to me.
Okay.
And then also Maud from Black Beauty Roster too. Back in the day, her company, her startup company was called Bonte.
Yeah.
And so Bonte, again, DC based, and they did a lot of stuff. And believe it or not, it's a lot of celebrities that come into DC. People just don't know it, you know. Obviously, the political scene there, you know, they're coming to visit the White House or to do whatever.
Right.
And a lot of times they just don't know where to go. And so once I was kind of connected through those people, or those companies, then I started to kind of build. I did have an agent at one point in New York, which was
Barboza.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So I had Barboza, but that was right before COVID. And so I really never got to get like really going with them because COVID happened.
Okay.
And I think Barboza's still around, but not in a way that they used to be. But what I always do is I just go. Like when I'm called, I go and I'm ready, you know, and I stay ready so that when the opportunities present themselves, I can go.
Yeah.
And I just somehow meet people that stay connected with me. Angela Rye is someone that I still do. And she sends me everybody.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that comes through DC, she sends them to me. So
I love Angela Rye.
yeah, she's such a sweetheart.
I became familiar with her because my husband loves Angela Rye.
Yes.
So when I see her, I'm just like, she's pretty, but I was like, but I know Jamal did that. So, that's awesome. Good to know that you don't have to be in the big New York or LA markets to really put yourself out there for celebrities. Connections are super important. Relationships are super important. So if you get the opportunity, make sure you stay ready. Yeah. Let's talk about any upcoming projects or classes.
Okay, so obviously always with Mazzani, the Mazzani haircut. And listen, she brought us the Mazzani haircut. And I always have to give you your flowers. Like, I'm that guy, because I told you literally that I have not learned or taken a class that has been that innovative since Vidal.
Wow.
No, I'm so serious. I know I told you that, but I don't know if you heard me when I said it.
I probably didn't hear that. Thank you.
No, I mean, I truly, truly think that it is something that's so special, and thank you for bringing it to us. Thank you for bringing it to the industry, because, to be honest with you, I did not love any of the curly cutting methods that I was taught until the Mazzani haircut.
Thank you.
And the reason being is because it is so much science behind it, how the hair grows, what it does, all of those things, which no one ever taught us that.
Right.
And then they always told us to cut the hair wet.
Right.
Which is a big no. Right? So I think that, I just had to tell you that.
I appreciate that. That.
We have Mazzani haircut certifications coming up all year long.
Mega certifications.
Doing some stuff with Redken. And then I'm also launching my own thing, which I can't tell you too much about. I'm going to tell you off this.
Okay.
Because it's not due to launch a lot later this year. But I have a passion for the industry also. And just being able to bring more of who we are and what we do, but to the schools. Because I feel that is where the connection needs to start. Yeah. Right? It's difficult to go to someone that's been seasoned and that's out of beauty school and they've hit the ground running and they're making this money and they don't really want to really go back and understand. Yeah. So when you catch them in that space, I think that is one of the biggest things that we as an industry probably should shift to, because when you get them there, it's easier for them to grow. Yeah. So that is that is going to be a little bit about what I want to do.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to learn more about that.
Oh, and then Naha season's coming up.
So entries open already?
Yeah. Entries open. And the nominees are announced on the 2nd of February.
Oh, yep. So I don't know exactly what day this is going to be launching, but either nominees have been announced or nominees will be announced. Yes. And let us all give a big whoosh to Jamal.
I received it.
Yes. What categories did you enter?
I did 4 categories.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. You put your foot in all that.
4 categories.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. I did color, texture, of course, styling and finishing, and avant-garde.
I'm really excited for you. I can't wait to see. Yeah. I had an opportunity to be a judge, and I could not log in.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I couldn't log in. And by the time they responded to my email, the judging had closed. It was the second round. Yeah, it was over. So I did not get the opportunity. Yeah. I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel like I would know your work. I could be bazillion
I think you
wrong.
would.
Because I think we've known each other and worked together for 6 years.
And we work, It's interesting because when you start to compete or even judge, you do get an eye for people's work. Yeah. Like I remember being a judge a couple years back, and in my mind I was like, this is this person.
There's like the little thing, there's like
you could just tell. Yeah. You can just tell.
Well, that's really exciting. I can't wait to see. And so this is the most submissions you've done?
Yeah, this is the most. Yeah.
Where do you find inspiration?
You know what? I always tell people, I find inspiration from anywhere, to be honest. Like whatever is beauty, I find it in beauty. But what inspires me may not be the same thing that would inspire someone else, or it may not even be, something that people would think. I know that I like to travel. So a lot of times architecture is what I love. Like I wanted to be an architect when I graduated high school. Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yep. And so I'm drawn to like buildings and just how beautiful they look. I went to Paris one year, and that was what inspired me for a collection that I did the year after. And so nature is something that it really inspires me.
Yeah.
I like to go and sit, like I have a little balcony on my bedroom, and I go out and I just look at nature. And that's where a lot of inspiration comes from me, but also our culture, you know, everything about being a Black man, a Black woman is inspiring to me. And so I take inspiration from all of those things. When you think about inspiration, it doesn't have to be one thing. It could be multiple things,
if you're open to it. I feel like a lot of people are like, I need to research this. No, just it'll come to you.
It will. And that's the other thing, you have to be in the creative process. A lot of times for me, like I am open. I meditate, I pray, and I allow whatever is going to come to me to come. A lot of times you can't be so strict where it's like you can't receive it. You do have to be open. Right? You have to be open to whatever's coming. And so I think that is also a big part of just how I stay grounded in general. Just meditation, prayer, all of those things. But inspiration could come from anywhere.
So would you be an architect today if you weren't a hairstylist, or do you think you'd be something else?
No, I don't think I would be an architect. I don't have many regrets though, but the one regret I do have is not going to college. I don't know that I would have gone to be an architect. I think about it all the time though. And I really think about it all the time. I'm like, how can I do this? Like, can I really go back to school? I got
it. Maybe we'll do it together, because I think about it all the time too.
Listen, let's talk about it.
All right. Well, we're going to dinner tonight, so we'll figure it out.
I don't think that I would be an architect though. I think I would be in fashion. Maybe. Yeah.
Designer, sales, marketing.
Probably styling. I think I would have started in a high-end retail store and probably be styling celebrities or something like that.
I wanted to go to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
Really?
Instead of beauty school. It was very expensive, and I had an easier route into beauty school. But I too wanted to be in fashion.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like hairdressers. When you're in the beauty industry, it's just like you're really,
it's all the complete. It's the complete package. Share what you think to date has been your biggest accomplishment.
Industry related or just in general?
You can give me both.
Okay, so I think raising kids have been my biggest accomplishment in my family life. I never thought that I would be a parent. I didn't necessarily want to be a parent earlier in my life, but I have 3 amazing boys, and they just make me proud every day. So I think that is one of the biggest accomplishments. And also holding together my marriage and my kids, it's
and your career. That's a lot. You're doing a lot, friend.
So that's a big accomplishment. But of course, the next one would be my NAHA award. I think in the industry, it's important that we are represented. I believe that I was the first Black man to win.
You were.
That category. And
you are.
Yes. And so that was really important to me also because I remember being a kid, stepping into my first trade show or beauty show and seeing someone that looked like me and inspired to be able to do that. So I want to be that for someone else. I want someone else to see, a Black man that looks like them, that, didn't have it easy in the industry. I worked really, really hard to get where I am, to be able to win something like that, and for them to be able to say, I want to be able to do that one day, or I can do that one day because, someone did it before me.
Absolutely. There is a
trail.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And you've been nominated. How many times have you been nominated?
5 times.
5 times. Yep. Okay. When was in 2021? 2021.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just last year.
Yeah. I wish it was. It was 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. 2021.
So I'd love to know one trend you'd love to see come back and one trend that's happening now that you'd love to see go away.
Trends to come back. I loved ombre.
Mm-hmm.
I love like the balayage concept, of course, but something that was just about ombre, you know, and on the difference between ombre and balayage is like ombre is more darker and lighter on the ends,
Mhm.
right? So I've always loved that, that lived in look. So I would love to see a lot more ombre come back.
Would we see that in your color?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Then with the wind,
Yes.
we might see it come back.
Maybe. And I think the trend that I want to go away, you know, it's not a specific technique. I think it is people not respecting our industry in terms of all of the little things that are happening in beauty salons that shouldn't happen.
Did you hear
that
the sigh?
are a trend.
Can you sigh with me on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
That is a trend I think should go away. Like the whole conversation about
shampooing.
Yes.
What
yes.
the
Yes.
I don't even get it. How do
crazy.
How do you give someone a polished, beautiful, flowing, soft, bountiful hairstyle and you don't even know what they use to do shampoo? Like,
I have no clue.
I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it.
And then when you think about what we do as professionals, we know what's in the products. We understand ingredients. We understand, again, density, texture, type, all of these things, right? So how could we trust that someone's using the right thing, and then we want to put our irons and combs and all of these things on top of that?
Right.
So the trend of professionalism, or non-professionalism,
the non-professionalism,
yes, is what I want to see go away.
So we're going to say bye-bye to non-professionalism on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I'd love for you to give a tip to stylists who are interested in being Jamal Edmonds, you know, having the career that you have, being an educator, being sought after stage presenter, you know, celebrity stylist. Like, so
the first one I would say is work hard. Take in all of the moments that you can, work really, really hard. And the next one would be to never take no as an answer, right? Because what I didn't tell you all is I believe I entered NAHA 8 years in a row before I actually won.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I didn't take no as an answer. I knew that I would win at some point. You know, initially, I believe when I came to Mazzani, I did not initially get a yes, and I came back, and then I made it the second time. But I never give up. You know, when people tell me no, it's like I figure out a way to
ask it a different way.
Ask it in a different way. Yeah. And you know, we fight the fight all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, things that we are passionate about. Sometimes we'll have conversations, our leadership group, and, you know, we bring things to the table. And again, it's like, you know, Kate might say no to the one thing, and I bring it back to her 6 months later.
Yeah.
And, you know, change the question or whatever. But again, it's all for the greater good of our industry. So, and I love that she listens and gives us space to do that. But also, I just, whatever it is that I want, I'm going to go after it. And I'm going to, you know, try to make sure that I do it and do it in a right way. And then I always show up, you know. Yeah. You got to show up. When you get the opportunities, show up and show out, you know, because that is the only way that they're going to keep coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. Those are great tips. Any last words you'd like to share? Anything I missed?
No, I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
I love this. Great hanging out with you.
So I end each show by saying, why can't I get your words together, Tippi? I'm going to say some words, and I'd like for you to finish the sentence.
Okay.
The words I'm going to say are, we are all
in this together.
Yes, you heard it. We are all in this together. I want to thank Jamal Edmonds so much for hanging out with me. By the way, we're working together for the whole week.
Yes,
We really had no
yes.
choice to hang out because we're going to dinner tonight and we're working for the next 4 days
Yes.
together. But we actually really have never had a sit down.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
we hang out,
Yeah.
but we're always with a ton of people.
Uh-huh.
I feel like you and
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
never had an opportunity to just have a
No.
sit down and a little powwow.
No, yeah.
So I want to thank Jamal Edmonds for blessing Behind the Beauty's Pro to Pro Convo. Where can people follow you?
So my Instagram is Lamaj backwards, LAMAJBACKRAR. Okay, so Lamaj backwards. And that's where you can find me.
Awesome. And so you know who I am, your girl Tippi Shorter Rank. I'm at Tippi Shorter. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification so you know when there's a new interview or a new tip or a new how-to or a new something. With that, see y'all later.
Thank you for having me, Tippi.